Alright, hello everyone, I'm Ezra Silver and we are back for the third and final breakdown performance for me to do. And, I don't know, it's 11:38 p.m. right now, almost 11:39, which is almost midnight. And this might be a big waste of effort, assuming it doesn't stay on my channel because people don't want it on my channel. But, assuming it doesn't, and it stays on my channel, then thank God this was actually worth something. 'Cause I wanted to record something. And anyways, as you can see here, we're still on the monologue from the last video. If you haven't checked that out, check it out. But now we're moving on to our culminating. So let's see if I can find it. Culminating stressed. There we go. Okay, so there's a few things to break down about how this performance came to be, and I do that with all of them before I start playing the actual thing and breaking it down. Like I said with every other one, and I'll say it again, I'm doing a new Rockstar's style, a new Rockstar style reaction is where I'm breaking it down, little background details, hints throughout and whatnot. So this is Stress. This was the actual poster that we had to make for Stress. This is my Stressed poster. Or I didn't make the Stress poster. That was Ethan. But the color is actually based off all of us. So, I believe the light blue is Caitlin, because she says something about shades of blue. And then the purple, I believe, is Michaela, and then the white is me, and then the green is Ethan. So there's that. But the way this came to be is that we were again divided into 3 groups, kind of like the radio play, and the teacher, or was it 4? I think it was 3. And then the teacher, I'm not including grade 11s by the way, and then the teacher, Miss Chegas, she gave us different things. This was actually the hardest one to do on this play, because, or not like out of all my performances, this was the hardest play to do out of all the performances that we could have done for culminating. But she specifically assigned me and 3 other actors to this play in order to, because it was the hardest and she thought we could do it. And the reason it's the hardest is because unlike the other plays that were performed for culminating, this one, the monologues that we had to do, they were all pre-written rather than being written by us. So yeah, we had to memorize them. Actually, this pissed off a lot of people. Like, not the actual performance, but the getting ready for it. Because I remember I would be like eating lunch, and while I'm chewing a bite, I would like read my script, and I would just like, I would spend my entire lunch even. I'd spend all the work period I got, and I would spend time at home, and I would spend lunch reading the script. And it would upset, I think it was Bree, who just wanted me to finally have some self-respect and actually just take a break and have fun. But I was annoyingly stubborn. I mean, I'm annoyingly stubborn no matter what, but I was annoyingly stubborn in the sense that I just wanted to, I needed to nail it. And therefore, I would practice at lunches, you know, I wouldn't eat lunch sometimes. I wouldn't even eat lunch sometimes because I would just be so focused on learning my stuff. And for actually something kind of shocking about it, and this might make sense to some people, but it was actually easier to learn the monologues, like the huge paragraphs of lines, rather than just the single lines. Because the monologues, you know where they came, they had a lot of stuff for you to say. It wasn't like pause and then say something and then pause and say something. It was just all together, these things you had to say, and then, you know, move on to the next person. But no. The singular lines were harder to say, or the one-liners, because, you know, they came at random points in time, and they'd be so short. and therefore it caused you to kind of have to remember. I mean, you already had to remember where you were in comparison to everyone else, but it just made sure you had to pretty much memorize the entire script just to know your own lines with this, which made it a little bit harder to remember the one-liners. But anyways, we picked our characters. I was actually originally thinking of being Alex, and a lot of people say I should have been Alex because I've never had a girlfriend, and that was the main reason. But I ended up being the nerd, so there you go. Yeah. Anywho, all my props were brought in by me. Good things. Backstage, we brought in snacks. I paid for all the snacks. I bought the snacks. There were bear paws and chips, as well as juice boxes. These iced tea juice boxes. I believe it was. I think it was iced tea juice boxes that I brought in as well. And I brought it all in this duffel bag. So, once again, I'm like the Tony Stark of... I was the Tony Stark of this group. I was the one that paid for everything. But this was by far the biggest performance in terms of stage and whatnot. And also had the highest stakes. And you can tell my voice is starting to go from talking all this time, but not talking just in this video, but all three of them, I've done them back to back to back. But it's kind of weird because this one almost mirrors the first performance, the radio play, because it's 4 people, 2 being girls, 2 being guys. I don't know, there's a lot of similarities to the first performance, and I don't have the motivation or determination or care to name them all, but alas, here we are. Let us get stressed. Okay, so that was not my fault. That wasn't an editing error. I don't want you to think that. That skip right there was, the person recording. That was their fault. They paused it and then started again. So, that was their fault, not mine. And also, skinny jeans, pretty cool. Shoes, the same ones I wore in every other performance I did. Glasses, Cineplex glasses, I have those right there, and then a flannel shirt. I also have Tim Hortons right there, a washed out cup from one of my dad used, so thank God to that, and then my backpack, which has a binder and everything that I use. Also, I didn't write on this desk was already pre-written on. But yeah, so, there you go. That's my actual backpack, by the way. And that's my actual binder.
Pardon me for saying so, but I am...
You wanna know how I feel? I feel.
That was supposed to be me.
Dude, I gotta tell you that I'm majorly...
My life, right now, one word.
Stressed!
It's my girlfriend.
It's school!
It's my parents. It's my coach.
She's...
It's
Bear. He's
stressing me out! I am astounded. You know what I think? I think all the teachers in the school, they have these get-togethers for these little sadistic meetings. They probably, I don't know, have bran muffins and coffee at these get-togethers. Who knows? Probably on Tuesday. Yeah, I'm guessing on a Tuesday afternoon, they all meet up in the library. The agenda goes like this. Item number 1, how to make students' lives hell. Item 2, how to make students' lives hell. And item 3 through 20, how to make students' lives
hell. What does he want from me? Listen,
So you can already see where this is going. We don't, for those of you who don't understand, we're in 4 different situations, right? But it's all the same concept. We're all stressed about different things, and our situations are so different but so similar. And we don't know each other exists. I mean, we do at the end. But right now, we're all individual people. So Michaela doesn't know that Ethan exists. Ethan doesn't know Michaela. Doesn't know Caitlin. Caitlin doesn't know Ethan or me. And I don't know Caitlin exists. We're all talking at our own time. And technically speaking, we're all talking at the same time. But, yeah. Yeah. Also, before I forget, I want to say, according to the teacher, because I like was trying so hard, but not according to the teacher, I actually pretty much nailed my portion of the script entirely. What can I say? Dedication pays off. Alright, anyways, let's get back to this.
Play hard. Ask anybody. I hustle. I work my buns out every game and every practice. Nobody works harder than I do. Oh, sure, anyone can just say that. Anybody can fool themselves into thinking they work hard. But when you've got everybody telling you, not just your parents, but everybody telling you how hard they see you working, you kinda get the feeling it's true. Don't you think? And let me tell you why I work as hard as I do. Because a year ago when I as coach,
She's
I
so
wasn't getting
sassy
as
in
much
this.
playing time as some of the other girls, he said, because you're lazy. Well, let me tell you what, that hit me hard. That really got to me.
You know what really got to me? Last week, right? She tells me, Josh, we never spend time together. Ooh, Josh, you know, we don't have anything in
That
common.
wasn't scripted, by the way.
And I'm like, well, what's that supposed to mean? We don't have anything in common, right? So I say to her, baby, we have each other in common. She shakes her head like when she's telling me I'm all lame and all, right? So I come in close, I grab her by the waist, and I say, we have our love in common. And then she pulls away and she says, that's not enough, Josh. So I see the whole combo isn't going so hot, right? So my motto is, whenever things are looking low, whenever possible, call on the Beatles. So I say, not enough. All you need is love. All you need is love. And I'm like, come on, hon, sing it with me. You know the words. Dude, I thought she was gonna slap me right in next week.
I thought they were gonna ground me for life, and I didn't do anything seriously. I mean, okay, I did forget to pick up my little sister from kindergarten, but she was fine. The teacher said she was okay and that she played with blocks the whole hour she
Oh, you can see my arms.
My parents
Because my hands are actually
called
like
me
literally twitching
criminal
in real life.
because little
They just
me played with the
vibrate.
alphabet blocks.
So you can see that happen there.
After
I'm
kindergarten,
trying not to, so.
when we got home, you should have heard the lecture. Actually, you shouldn't have. It would have killed you off. All the big words: responsibility, loyalty, honesty, sincerity, and like 700 other words ending with T. Honestly, I can't remember right now.
Some people equate the sound of stress to nails on a chalkboard. Most chalkboards, however, have been replaced. The squeak of a dry
race
erase
marker.
marker
Oh,
on a
wait.
whiteboard. That is sound stress. Or the keys of a computer clicking, or a pencil scratching on a piece of paper. All these methods can produce more homework, more torturous assignments that fill my afternoons, my evenings, my nights with pain. These are the modern day examples of stress.
Stress is a taste. The taste of sweat. The coppery taste in the back of your throat when you've been running wind sprint after wind sprint. The taste of grass when you do push-ups on the garage. Of chalk from the playing field. Of rubber from your mouth guard. But you need one more ingredient to get the exact taste of stress.
I usually tone out. I zone out whenever these
Scream,
people
coach, but you don't dare.
like
Or you
talk,
sit at the bench,
because I just
waiting
get
for
so
the
bored
season.
so quickly when I'm not doing anything on stage.
Dude, believe it or not,
The balls
stress
are
smells like the
full.
perfume my girlfriend. Now, I can't remember what it's called right
Oh,
now.
also, call back to my breakdown of the monologue. I mean, my radio play. In case you haven't, these were the kind of boards that were knocked on to make the door sound. In case you're wondering.
I better find out by Christmas, because, you know, it's on the list. Anyways, it drives me crazy. Because whenever I smell it, I know she's around. Right? I love it. But I also hate it. But then I start thinking where she puts it. Dude, behind the ears, on her neck, whoa, I'm powerless. Whoa, I'm whipped.
We're spelling stress, by the way.
Stress is the color of light blue. That's the color I had to paint the hallway, the living room, the baseboards, and the top part of the family room. 2 coats or I couldn't go hang out with my friends last weekend. I hated that color. By the end of last Saturday, I wanted to paint my parents light blue, and it took all of my willpower to not dump that last half gallon right on their head. Red, isn't it? Or black, light blue. Stress is a shade of light, disgusting blue. S-T.
Okay, so we weren't supposed to look at each other, but if you notice me, if I put it in, slow motion, and I am so much faster. Okay, I'm sorry, but give it a second. But we actually never like officially determined what the chant was supposed to be, like how we're supposed to do it. So I was so confused. And then they started doing it. So as you can see, I accidentally break it to start doing it. And I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, I kind of have an idea. Okay, this is not.
We don't.
But yeah, I didn't get the message.
We don't like it, so give it a rest.
Yeah, see, I started doing my own thing because we didn't make it
Yo,
clear.
check this out.
Let me tell you something.
Listen up.
Lend me your ears.
He's always telling me he doesn't like my attitude. He doesn't know anything about my attitude. You want to know what my attitude is? Get the job done. That's about their thinking. Get the job done. My job is to get to the ball before the pitcher does, before the defense does, before anyone does. I do my best just to get it done.
I can never get all done. I mean, once the teachers have conspired against me, have coordinated this week's scheduled torture homework, there is no humanly possible way to get all done. This is what I had last week, Wednesday night, okay?
These were, that was actually something that I really liked about it, because I just did that, you know, that wasn't suggested by anyone, that was just something that I did. But all the papers in there, they're not like fake papers, they're not blank papers. They're literal papers from, I was doing, what is it? I was doing, oh, what was the half credits? Oh, I don't remember the half credits. I was doing whatever class the podcast was being done in, so civics and careers. Those are all papers from civics and careers. And maybe a bit from drama, but primarily civics and careers. That's what all those are from. And maybe some other courses too, but I didn't have any other courses going on at the time, so it's primarily civics and careers. So those are legitimate school papers of mine.
Okay. All-star band practice, 2 hours. Physics, 2 hours. English, an hour and a half. French, an hour. SAT vocabulary review, an hour. And filling out my scholarship application, an hour. That totals, ladies and gentlemen, to 8.5 hours of homework. That, she's a vernacular, is nuts!
They're completely insane. I mean,
In case you didn't catch it, I said that to use the vernacular. It was nuts. I really like learning my, the paragraphs. I don't know why. It's just so easy for me to learn the paragraphs. It was fun. I don't know. I like it.
they say they were young ones too, but I don't actually believe them. If they were young, they would know that it's practically impossible.
But you can see me breathing
to
by how much effort I put into my actions.
drink like a fish, have rampant sex, vandalize tombstones, and sneak out of the house, all while I am for 1,000 hours a day, and, by the way, still earn decent grades and get in the house by 9 o'clock on school nights. They must think I'm like super delinquent or something. I just
Don't get it. You know what I mean? I spend time with her. I like to spend time with her. I
That was
mean,
a
who
photo
wouldn't,
we
as
found
long
online.
as, you know, you're a heterosexual dude. She's gorgeous. She's funny. She kisses great, and her laugh, I mean, it's just like angels laughing.
Okay, so you guys won't get that, and I'm not going to break it because it's not really my story to tell. Although I am an honest person, honesty can only go so far before it goes into other people's territory. So although I won't tell you why I'm laughing there, I can tell you... Jesus Christ. I never actually saw that, because I'd always skip through the parts that weren't mine when I go back and rewatch this, because I would get really bored really quickly. Not because I'm like egotistical or anything like that. I couldn't be less egotistical. I just skip to my parts because I can. My thing is I can see everyone else's performance. I can watch them rehearse them, and I can, if I really wanted to, I could break the kayfabe and look over at them and watch it during the performance. But I can't see myself. I can only see myself in the first person. So I'm more interested in seeing how I looked because I can't see myself when I'm doing it. So. Yeah, anyways, I know why he looked over there, and I know what that was hint at, but I won't tell you what. So, one of the few mysteries.
Like, we spend time at her house every single day after school. We hang out on the weekends. Her mom basically says they might as well adopt me, and that's not to say we hang out during the breaks at school. But you know what she says to me the other day? She says, Josh, we never spend time together. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? Get liquefied so you can put me in an IV bottle? Dude, I mean... Girl!
You know what all this stress is doing to me? I get these migraine headaches.
I get these terrible nightmares.
I get this mega bad acne.
I get the worst menstrual cramps.
I always know when they're coming. The headaches. I get these shimmery spots in my peripheral vision. And remember Fantasia, that old Disney movie? Not the one with One American Idol. It was one of the few shows my parents let me watch growing up because it features classical music.
Okay, I'm gonna say this right now. A lot of people critiqued me after the performance because I talk too fast, and although that was a little bit of nerves, that kind of added to my character because he was just so stressed. He had so much on his plate that, you know, trying to get all this stuff off his chest would be so relieving that he would want to talk fast because he has just so much tea to spill. He has so much to offload from himself. So, although people critique me for talking too fast, I think it adds to the character and the overall stress and, you know, just the showing of how stressed he really is, of how, you know, manic, crazy he's going over just the absurdity of his life, you know? So, there's my defense.
Increased brain activity. The show, not American Idol. Anyway, there's a segment in Fantasia where they have these sort of dancing water lilies, or mushrooms, or both. Anyway, they have some sort of dancing plant.
And the shaking really adds to it as well.
In the nightmare, I'm standing in the goal. I've never played goalie in my life, but in the nightmare, there I am, and I can see my team way off in the distance. And they're kicking a soccer ball, only it's huge. And I can tell it's huge, because if it were a regular size, I only see a white dot. But in the dream, even the black shapes on it, I can see really clearly. I get this gross feeling in my stomach, like I know something terrible's about to happen. Plus, I know I'm in the wrong position.
Oh, you can see our poster in the background. I just realized that now. You got Ethan, me, Michaela, and Kayla. So I did get it right. That's a little... We had to make a poster. So there you go. There's that. The stress poster.
But my cleats are glued to that spot. I'm thinking, why am I playing defense in the goal? I'm a striker. I have to get over there.
Yeah.
I can't move though. I'm stuck.
Dude, whenever she like brushes me off, I break out unbelievable. I mean, it's pretty much a psychological thing now. Because whenever I get in a fight, I go home and I scrub my face big time because I know the zits are on the way. I take this old washcloth and I run the water so it's super steaming.
I'll be right back. I gotta find a charger for my phone.
Told you.
My backpack. Okay, no, portable charger, by the way. Okay, and that goes in there. Working? Yo, crud. Okay. Okay, yeah, should be good. Okay, anyways, back to the performance. Technical difficulty solved.
Alright. And then I take the washcloth, I soak it in the water until it's practically burning. And then I take a nice, deep breath. And just like when I'm trying to turn a trick on the skateboard, I slap that sizzling hot washcloth on my face. Dude, ah! Like when I peel that thing off, it's like an instant sunburn, dude.
The bloating comes first. Have you ever seen a fish that's been dead in the water for a few days, how it's floating and its belly's all puffed up? That's what I feel like. And PMS, if my parents have been hassling me that time of the month, becomes a tornado, a volcano, or a hurricane. Think of a natural disaster, any natural disaster, then multiply it by 200. That's what I feel like. And if my parents have been on me about my attitude, it becomes even worse. And when I try to tell them it's my period that's put me in a bad mood, my mother just smiles this amazingly disgusting smile and says, well, that's just the curse of womanhood, sweetheart. Which only makes me want to throw her falling doll through the china closet.
When the spot stops dancing, I know I'm gonna get hit. Oh, the pain!
It starts rolling
I like
toward
that.
me. It's big and getting bigger.
You know, it doesn't matter that I
Not
scolded my
sexually.
face off the night before. I wake up and there they are.
After the happiness of the bloating and a lovely case of PMS, here come the cramps.
Right behind my left eye!
Coming right at me.
Spreading all over my face.
In my back, in my sides, in my belly.
Like a jackhammer!
Like a steamroller.
Jack.
Like a bunch of pregnant flies.
Like my guts are a towel and somebody's twisting and twisting.
The pain!
The agony!
The terror.
The embarrassment.
You can see me. I go all dramatic, and it's not part of my character by any means, but I just wanted to do that because I found it funny. So you actually see me.
The pain!
The agony!
The agony. Oh man, I had fun there. I had fun. I love doing performances. Performances are so fun. It's a new way to express myself, a new version of me that I get to put out there. Even if I don't enjoy the class all that much.
The terror.
The embarrassment.
The scumbag who even dares to suggest that being a man is in any way harder than being a woman.
Woo!
So,
because
of all this stress, I am staying home from school, locked in my bedroom, with shades over all the windows.
I keep thinking about it the next day. Even at practice, I can't get it out of my head.
I mean, I'll just call up my girlfriend and tell her I need to be alone for a while.
I chew on the bedpost until I snap it off.
Which
Of course.
Only makes things worse. Much worse.
You
wanna know what else?
I
I thought you were talking about
Okay, so this part was intentionally made in a way where we all had to talk at once. And that was probably the hardest part of our performance. It wasn't learning our lines, it was getting in sync at the performance. So it took a lot of tries. And although we don't exactly know it here, the point of this entire monologue, as you're going to see, is that we're all supposed to just randomly talk, and it's supposed to demonstrate all our stress and all the thoughts running in our head at once. But there's supposed to be specific lines that tie us all together. And you'll see us try and nail them together. But it just, we didn't have enough time to practice that, because it's kind of like the last thing some of us learned. And it was just, we never really nailed it down. And I mean, it's a hard thing to nail down, it really is. But we tried. And that's probably the weakest point of our thing, but hey, enjoy. And although you can't tell what I'm saying, you know, I'm just I do actions, everything is pretty cool. That's basically me every time I'm in the mirror. Not even joking, literally all these actions. That's literally me. Like, cause not a lot of people notice, but I'll just sit in the mirror and I'll act something out, and I imagine that me in the mirror is like people. I'm imagining people watching me, and I'll just start acting something. And that's a perfect example. It's just how crazy I get. Not many people have said this, but I think one person said before, where I'm kind of like Jim Carrey in the way. I'm not quite Jim Carrey-esque, and I'm especially not as funny as Jim Carrey. But I'm Jim Carrey, but people have called me Jim Carrey in a sense where my movements are always very over-exaggerated. They're always very out there, you know? So, there you go. They're always overacted, basically. Yeah, I didn't finish my part there, so I just had to cut from mine to the line that everyone had to say. That was our biggest I started saying it because I'm just so used to reciting it.
I can't take it anymore. So of course, Of course, I'm not exactly looking my best lately. Bags under my eyes.
Falling asleep in my classes.
Her face looking like a freaking pizza.
My outfit's pinching my waist and my thighs.
And
And
People telling me all the time.
Everyone else forgot.
Alex.
Carmen.
Dude.
It's very weird for me to say Alex and like talk to someone, act as someone else talking to me because Alex is my brother. So it's very weird because in a way I feel like I'm just talking to Alex as if he was there.
Andy,
You look stressed.
And I'm like,
No
Everybody's got advice. My nanny
Those are
tells
hilarious.
me to try to spread weight under her pillow at night.
my therapist tells me I need to practice meditation.
my friend comes over and lights incense in my room. My father thinks it's marijuana. Of course.
My dog tells me that I should try just scratching the fleas off my backside.
Try a poultice with rose hips and ginger.
Think of a climb out street.
Become a vegan.
Lick the floor.
Sniff peppermints.
Get a massage.
Eat tofu.
Take a log.
Also, the get a massage, the enthusiasm behind that is actually inspired, oddly enough, it has nothing to do with my performance anyway, but it's inspired by the line from Sister Location Custom Night. I believe it's the Biddy Bat that says it. I want to get inside. It's literally that line. That line is what it's inspired by, and you can kind of see the parallels to it. I don't know why, but I went there. Oh god, no.
Slurp from the toilet.
Nothing works. We
are
are
still
Stressed.
Good. Stress, 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 stress.
There
There was
This one time.
I spent an entire day, 24 solid hours on school and school-aid activities. Sun up to sun up. That's how.
Crazy ones about this.
I still remember
Jumping
that.
up and down in front of us. Jumping up. Bam.
Down from there, young lady. My father's always yelling at me. But you know what? I didn't want to get off the roof. I wanted to.
Stay, she tells me, right? Don't go. I don't want to be alone. So I stayed. Even though I knew my stepmom would be like completely.
Steamed up about how we weren't working hard enough. How we weren't totally committed. But you know what? I think the team is more committed than he is. I don't know how many times he's gotten to practice.
Late for your period, young lady? I cannot believe it. I cannot believe she asked me this question. I cannot believe she was actually suspecting me of being
Pregnant guinea pig. I had to take care of my allergy lab, and she was getting extremely close to delivery. I had to count the contractions. They were tough to see the fur. I mean, it was 2 a.m., and I'm pacing back and forth, waiting for my science report to have her.
Baby, I gotta go home now. You don't love me, she says. And I'm like, of course I love you. And she's like, you don't really love me. And I'm like, I really, really do. Love it. If I could only get a break.
a break.
A break?
A break!
A break.
A break from all this stress. You know what I would do?
A break for me would involve sleep and more sleep. I would get so much sleep I'd have to take a nap from sleeping. And eating. Sleeping and eating all I want with no stress.
Okay, so you might be wondering why in this situation where everyone else is going, like, statue? I forget what the term is, alright? I'm tired. But while everyone else is going statue and she's giving her monologue, Ethan is playing with his guitar, it's because we had a confusion. Literally like a minute or so before the performance, Caitlin said we should do, stage play, I believe it's called, or stage song, I forget what it's called. But basically the gist of it is even when you're not the one acting, you're still doing something to help further the performance. And that wasn't the original plan. Like I said, it was like 1-2 minutes before. So Ethan was like, no, we shouldn't do that. And it was just confusing everyone. So I think it happens off camera more so than on camera. But you can, Michaela apparently does it. I did it at the start, but that was off camera, so you couldn't see. I also didn't do it that much. And then Ethan starts playing with his guitar because he suggested it. And she suggested it, but she doesn't do it at all. So, really, it was just... Well, it was a fault, you know? It was a shame.
No alarm clocks, no calorie counts, no, young lady, if you don't get out of bed and into the shower in the next 5 minutes, you're grounded until Christmas. No, trying to fit into the $50 jeans you just bought. Just sleeping and eating, the two greatest joys in life. How would that? Oh, you know what? I know how it would be. It'd be like the life my little sister had when she was little. And I probably had it too, but I don't really remember it. But I lived through Mimi's
I was zoned
life.
out there.
My parents practically celebrated every little thing.
Every
she
time I
did.
zone out, I just start thinking of
Mimi,
different
You
scenarios.
took a nice long napsy wapsy. What a good little bookie you are. Oh, Mimi, you slept all the way through the night. Good job, you easy.
Intensely staring at the floor.
And when she finished off her straight peaches, it was like she had found the cure for cancer. And they were like that about every normal human thing she did. Oh, Mimi, look at the big poop you made. Good job, honey. It was like she filled her diaper with gold nuggets. Yeah, what a break that would be. Just sleeping and eating all I want. No hassles, no nothing. I could sleep all day and have my parents just like come in and be like, oh, Mindy, you slept all the way through school. Oh, you ate that entire box of Twinkies? Good for you. Would you like another one? Oh, you're going back to bed. Have a good sleep. And when I drooled on my pillow, you know, my parents would come in and they'd be all like, oh, look at her, she drooled. Isn't that cute, our cute little pookie wookie bookie eensy teensy weensy cutie pie? Yeah, what a break that would be. That would be a break I could handle.
I'm starting to move.
Just use a break.
The perfect break for me?
Oh, you can actually see me.
I could just
Because, like, I'm not supposed to move because I'm still, like, monotone.
break that would
But
be.
I started moving.
That would be a break I could handle. I could just
Use a break.
The perfect break for me?
So you see me give, like, a subtle, like, head shake, and that was just me, like, it was, I wouldn't say discipline, but it was me disappointing in myself because, like, I screwed up. So I'm just sitting there while still doing my my monotone pose, just, God damn it, you screw up. And that's really what's going through my head every time, like, I screw up in a performance.
For me? A good old-fashioned game of kickball. You remember kickball? I'd like to get all the girls on the soccer team together to play it. We'd choose off teams, except we just kind of 1, 2, 1, 2. One's on this team, two's on the other. Just so we didn't have the stress of having captains and the fear of not getting picked on the team. Yeah, we wouldn't deal with any of that. Kickball, with the soft red ball that didn't hurt when you got hit with it, even if you got beamed in the head, which wasn't supposed to happen, but it did sometimes anyway. Yeah, I'd like to get.
This is also really important for me to, I want to put out there. If I don't look amused, it's because I'm really bored, because
But you got over it pretty quick.
It's not that they're bad performances, by any means. I just heard them so many times while you were rehearsing, to the point where even nowadays I still get bored watching them, because I'm just like, I so badly want to skip, but I'm still reacting for you
Nice
guys.
3 steps and nail it! High into the air, while all others would scatter out in the outfield to get the ball. And you're running first, second, third, just ahead of the ball. Yeah, that's what we do. No coaches, no adults, no talk of strategy, no talk of technique, just us girls goofing around. We'd get in a little tip over whether we really got hit with the ball or not, but it wouldn't really matter. If anyone got mad, we just run over and tickle them. Yeah, that's what we do. We tickle them. And all the other girls would come over, and we'd make a pig pile, and we just laugh and laugh until our stomachs ached from it. Yeah, that'd be wonderful. We'd lose track of the score even because it didn't really matter. It wouldn't matter who was out, who was safe. We'd all be safe because it was just us girls goofing around. Yeah, if anyone got mad, they just get tickled. That's all. A nice, long break.
I would go to my bedroom, and I would shut the door. I would turn on my mechanized, space-oriented mobiles. And I'd lay on the floor for an hour. And I watch them all spin about. The sun, all the planets, space shuttle, and the asteroid belts, Jupiter, and all its moons.
I was trying to act as if they're all there.
My myriad mobiles. And I'd let my mind flow amongst the plastic representations of the components of our galaxy. I'd do that, as I said, for an hour. And then I'd reach on my bed, and I'd grab my favorite childhood toy, my Lincoln Logs. After carefully separating each log, and door, and window, and roof piece, I'd lay them in an organized grid, and I would build them methodically. I would savor each sweet interlock of those beautifully crafted Lincoln Log pieces. I'd have a mental image of a building so blindingly familiar, I feel as though it was branded on my very synapses. I take the mental image, and
I always feel so smart when I said synapses.
I finish like Casados, and then I affix a computer-generated sign onto the structure. Font size 16, font type Helvetica in bold. This sign would read Lakeview High School. I would then climb onto my computer chair.
This was improvised by me. Like, I didn't really practice this all that much. I just did it once before, and then I did it that time.
Like a 12-ton meteorite dashing through the atmosphere into a fiery ball of destruction, I would leap!
Okay, so that jump right there, it wasn't executed perfectly, because like I said, I couldn't practice it all that much, because people would hear me and whatnot. But that was inspired by the coup de grace from Finn Balor. So, yeah. The drop kick from hell. And also, this was improvised right here because my glasses fell off. I actually still have them. They're Cineplex glasses, I said. I have 3 of them now. So there's 1 and then 2 with the lenses still in. So these are the pair that I wore then. So I still have them. They're still good. It's pretty cool.
And land. Full faith in laws of physics directly on top of the model of the school. I'd hear it crumble. I'd hear it collapse. I'd hear it splinter. And I would smile very widely. And then I'd go eat a vanilla yogurt sprinkled with crushed Oreo cookies.
A nice long break. Dude, I'll tell you what I would do for a break. I would call up my 2 best buds, Joe and Nate. I'd be like, Joe, Nate, dudes, road trip. He'll be like, where are we, Josh? Where are we going? I'd be like, we're hitting the slopes, compadres, and he'd be all like, cool. But then, before I hung up, I'd get all real serious with him. Just like how my teachers are serious that I will not graduate from high school. And I will tell them, no female. They didn't know what that meant. I could hear in their voices when they said, dude. So we all pile into Nate's old and occasionally running 1979 Mazda. We'd be cruising down that holy highway, jamming out to the greatest tunes in rock and roll. The Zeppelin, The Who, and CCR. We'd be cruising down that holy highway, wearing our full ski gear because the Mazda's heater has been blown out since the 80s. And we will be snarfing down the finest foods that this world can provide. Cheetos, Mountain Dew, and the occasional Slim Jim. Having all the Beatles, my buds, my board, and a billion bumps of snow. But listen up here, newsflash. Whenever we were skiing or snowboarding and we'd see a female skier snowboard by, we'd turn away that day. Every single sound, sight, or smell that even resembled a girl, no! Bam! So then that way, if I wanted to do a sick 540 and wipe out like 37 times, I could. And not have to worry about some person being there like, well, what's your problem? It's just a snowboard trick. I mean, like, give it up. And if I wanted to shove this bottle of Mountain Dew in only 23.5 seconds and beat Joe's previous world record, I could. I don't have to worry about some babe being there rolling her eyes about it. And if I wanted to let out one of my famous, cheek-rattling, gaseous expressions of art, I just could. And I would bask in the true admiration of my buddies being like, dude, nice one. We could laugh our butts off all day and never once have to say, oops, pardon me. Yeah, that would be one super sweet break. Just like, don't tell my girlfriend I want to do that, alright?
A break is all I need.
Alright, finest don't
Just one long,
Relaxing.
Undisturbed.
Happy.
Break.
Impossible.
Psych.
Eat and sleep all I want. My parents would have a cow.
Coach would throw a fit.
Who has time to play with Lincoln Logs?
Nate's Mazda blew a head gasket.
Just stress.
Stress and more stress.
I've
But
got
100 million expectations. Always running, always late, never rested, never finished. Cramming breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Wanting more and getting less. Feeling stale and not refreshed. Just Take it easy.
See?
Just for
That's what I'm talking about again. You can see me, like, mentally disciplining myself for screwing that up.
lunch and dinner, wanting more and getting less, feeling stale and not refreshed.
See, I go like, God damn it. Because I just, I feel the need to punish myself for not getting something I've perfected so many times wrong. And so I will, in that moment, doesn't matter if it's character or not, subtly, mentally discipline myself.
Take it easy. Just for once, I want a breather. Please, oh please, get off my back. I'm stretched so thin, I'm on the rack. In danger of a heart attack. I just can't seem to get the knack of learning how to just relax. No matter that I try my best, wherever I go, east, north, or west, I'm finding something else I missed. And all I know is that I'm stressed. I'm stressed.
I'm stressed.
Again, with the dislocation.
It's all the same, southeast or west. It's just another thing I missed. I'm stressed, that's all, just stress, stress, stress. I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed, I'm stressed.
A Duke. My glasses are over there, you can tell they're okay. But I'm so scared it's gonna hit somebody.
Thanks. I feel better.
Okay, so I will legitimately admit, that was like half me being comedic and half me like actually almost fainting from the amount of effort I put into that performance.
I feel better.
But yeah, there we go. So, that was stress, and my god, each video gets longer and longer. But, yeah, that was the culminating. See, at the end of that one, like, it's cool and all, and everyone brings it up, like, anyone who is there through the drama class, they'll bring up the fact, like, oh, you know, it's really good that you play this character because you usually play these creepy, you know, psychotic characters. And I'm just like, okay, well, first off, technically speaking, Professor Waldman was not a creepy character. He was just in a dramatic performance, alright? And I didn't choose that one. Second, the cult, and I will admit that one was my fault. Third one, yeah, okay, I get it, but I get it. I forgot to mention this in the last video, but the drama class, they actually almost ruined my monologue because they would constantly tell me, like, careful, you're being typecasted for doing another creepy performance. And it broke my confidence every time because I'm like, crap, no one's gonna like this. So, honestly, I gotta blame, I'm gonna point fingers for once at the drama class more so than myself. Because Jesus, did they really, you know, shatter my confidence going into it consistently, actually, because they tell me like almost every day. But yeah, this one I just find a little annoying how often everyone seems to be like, oh, you know, it's good that you did something different, but whatever. So going back, I will readily admit that this was probably my favorite performance to rehearse. I mean, the radio play we didn't need to rehearse because we had our scripts with us the whole time, and what's the word? And then the ritual, that one was just a mess from start to finish. And then the monologue, that was all me, and that one was good, and I enjoyed that one, but like I said, I don't like to look back at that. And then this one was just fun. You know, everyone kind of had ideas, and everyone kind of, you know, was on the same page, even if we all kind of had different ways about going about it. And it didn't take me too long to memorize, like, the longer pieces. They're actually pretty easy for me to learn. But yeah, you know, it was cool. I don't know, there was just something fun about culminating. And I can't quite put my finger on what it was. But yeah, I forgot to do critiques for my, well, I guess I kind of critiqued the parts I needed to critique about my monologue. So if I had to critique parts here, like I said, I did twitch a lot, but that's just kind of who I am. And then I also mentioned the discipline, but that, you know, that's that I talked about that multiple times, so whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It was alright, I suppose. But I get, you can see why it was hard now, because we all had to be synchronized so that way we could jump on our lines the moment that someone else finished theirs. And we also had to try and synchronize so that way we could speak at the same time, and although that didn't always work out the best, we tried our best with it. I'm not trying to critique people or not, but it wasn't like the easiest to train. If there was definitely one that was easy for me to rehearse over and over again backstage, it was definitely the monologue, because, well, I didn't have to depend on anyone but me, but also because, like, even with other people there, I was always kind of in my own world, and I was, you know, capable, and I kind of knew what I wanted. Whereas this one, you know, some people got, like, distracted and weren't always motivated to rehearse their lines, so they'd go on their phones and whatnot while we were doing it, which made it a little bit difficult. Because, you know, we just, like, stop sometimes halfway through, or we take long breaks in between, because, you know, and I guess that's okay, because you need the socialization and whatnot, but for someone like me, who's just so intense on that, I would always, like, if I'm gonna have the work time, I'm gonna use the work time. That's just my thing. So, being there with the script, it was a little frustrating for me sometimes, with the whole, you know, lackadaisicalness of sometimes, and the breaks, because I just wanted to train. I wanted to constantly practice, and I can only do so much practicing by myself before, you know, I start to need other people in order to get the lines right. I mean, I can memorize my lines, but if I can't memorize where I'm supposed to say them, then, you know, it counts for almost nothing. But, you know, it happened. It worked. It was alright. I don't know. It was okay. Just a shame that I didn't get to work with Isaiah in any of these. Because, although he didn't help me as much in this one, compared to the other ones, he definitely did help with the general stylizing of me, as well as moral and social support when needed. I mean, I had other friends at the time too, but he really, it was just a shining light. He was my rock in drama. So, anyways, I've been talking for almost an hour on this alone, which means it's almost 1, right? It's 12:31. Never mind. I lied. I don't know. So I've reacted to the 3 of them, and this might not stay on the internet. It might, and I keep saying that, and I keep having to say that, just, you know, because if it does end up staying on the internet, then it's like, hey, I can go back and just be like, man, you know, that I mean, wow. But, like, I have to imply that it might stay on the internet because other videos I've been forced by people in my life to take down. I mean, I just turned them to private, but I've been forced to take them down because of comments, name drops, yada yada. So, assuming that all my effort into editing these and watching them and reacting to them and, you know, doing this instead of doing other things I need to do, actually goes recognized and it gets to stay here, then I can be thankful in the end. But if it doesn't, then it's just like, people who got to see it, and the people who don't get to see my reaction and my breakdowns and whatnot, well, it's a shame, really. I guess at the end of the day, even though if you make a channel, you're not the boss of it, there's so many people that could take it down. There's so many people that could ruin it in some way, shape, or form. I'm not ripping anyone, you know, whatever. People have lives, people have preferences. I suppose you can only do so much before you get on someone's bad side. I am hungry. I'm sorry. Anyways, I'm sorry for getting a bit cynical. I just thought I'd react to it because I wanted to make a video today, and like I said, the Switch didn't work. But I wanted to record something today, and I'm actually kind of happy I did this. And, you know, it's better to do it sooner or later, because soon I will be going into So next quad, I'll be going back to drama, and you know, I'm not looking forward to it by any means. I'm not looking forward to going to drama. I don't like the drama class. I don't like the drama family. Okay, the drama family is actual people. That sounds a little bit, you know, horrible. I don't hate the drama people. I just rather not spend my time around them. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to going back there, but I am looking forward to recording and doing more performances, and I'm looking forward to sharing them with you guys, adding to my repertoire, expanding my grounds, and adding to my portfolio. So I'm just happy to be improving and doing more performances, because I love to look back on these kinds of things. I love to showcase my talents, even if I demean them just as much as a critic would if I ever got recognized. But, you know, it's been like half a year for most of these, so I just thought I'd go back and give them a show before I moved on to my new performances in grade 11. I don't know. I gotta go fix something, so guess I'll wrap it up here. Final thoughts. I don't know if I said any of this in any interviews I did with myself, but I guess in a final thought, if I had to decide which one was my favorite performance I did this year, I wouldn't. I'm indecisive, but I guess if I really had to pick one, the Stress performance had the best group. It had the best, I shouldn't say work regimen, it had the funnest to rehearse. It definitely wasn't my monologue by any means. I didn't like my monologue, despite, you know, Isaiah's. I don't know if it'd be my ritual, because that whole time I was kind of putting in, I mean, I wasn't putting in lackluster effort, but everyone in the group as a whole kind of felt like they were putting lackluster effort, and there was a lot of tension between some of the members, so I enjoyed Delore. Delore was great. He was so fun and so cool and so creepy to a lot of people, and I loved it. It's kind of a tie between Delore and Alex for which character I had the funnest playing. In terms of backstage stuff, I think, despite the frustrations, the stressed performance would have been the funnest. But in terms of concept and idea, I think the ritual was definitely the funnest. Because I don't know, I had a lot of fun doing that one. And that, I guess that kind of wraps it up. So, I don't know. Drama, it both excites me and depresses me at the same time. if you haven't noticed. It's the people, but still. I'm not gonna enjoy seeing all of them again. Anyhow, I'm sorry, I'm repeating points, I am ranting, I'm going on and on about things I don't need to go on and on about, especially because I'm not going into detail about them because, you know, people are sensitive and stuff, and it sucks. So yeah, that wraps that up. I got stuff to do, things to see, yada yada. So thank you everyone so much for watching. I'm Azure Silver, and these have been reactions to my radio play, my monologue, and my culminating performance. Check them out in the description below. We'll check them out in their individual videos, annotations to New Rock Stars, who was my inspiration for doing this, you know, the initial video and whatnot. It's cool. It's fun. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Azure Silver, Conscribe from this. More game vlogs, videos comes. I'll see you all very, very soon. Later, guys.